Welcome to The Bottom Line, where we break down the most pressing economic and business stories of the day with our expert guests. June has seen a record high purchase of electric vehicles in Poland, over 2,000. 2,638 vehicles, of which 2,115 are passenger and utility vehicles. This might not sound like a lot, but it actually is. We're now joined by Jakub Faryś, the chair of the Polish Automotive Industry Association, to tell us what is happening among Polish consumers. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, that's true. That the last month was one of the best during last even 1 year. But generally, if we are talking about the whole first half of the year, we are more or less on the level of the next year, which is not the perfect result because we had for years, year to year, more or less plus 50%. So generally, many reasons. There are that the number of registered electric vehicles are not so satisfying as we are looking for. One of them is that we need support from governments. I'm not talking just only about the Polish one, but the other ones. And because we are, to be very honest, on the very first steps, on the very first part of the being the new era of automotive industry. In automotive industry, I mean zero emission vehicles, of course, the better ones. So for the moment, we need support. We need support both for vehicles during the buying them, but also for infrastructure.
You sound a little bit negative there, but overall, I think we can see that there is a positive trend. Year on year, there is an increase in consumer purchases of electric vehicles. But I wanted to ask you whether we are slowly moving away from this perception of the electric vehicle as a gadget and more as a generic consumer purchase, but perhaps there needs to be a change in the perception of what an electric vehicle is, because perhaps there's a lack of understanding of the purpose of an electric vehicle. Perhaps not everyone is so keen on the electric vehicle yet because perhaps they don't quite understand the purpose of it.
You told very nice gadgets. No, we are not talking about the gadgets. We are talking about what I told about the new era in automotive industry and in our, the customer point of view. Because for the moment, we are during the time of, I want to say, revolution. We have to change our mind. We have to change our way of using vehicles, because first of all we are fighting with the climate, which is CO2 emission level reduction is for us. The automotive industry, one of the key message and the most important thing. That's first. The second one, we have a new trend, which is called, I want to say, use the vehicles which are much more friendly for users. The electric vehicle is very nice to use. To drive electric vehicles is a big pleasure, let's say.
User-friendly.
Because of acceleration, because of many other reasons, noise or no noise at all. But it's still that there is the process. So we cannot switch one day from the old, let's say, vehicles, the combustion engine vehicles, for the new ones, for the vehicles which are much more environmental friendly. Of course, there is also the problem of electricity, because to have the old vehicles on the road, I mean, with the old combustion engine, it was very easy because we have a lot of fuel stations, and it was not our problem. I mean, automotive industry, how the customers fill in with the fuel. For the moment, is also our problem how to explain to the customer, how to learn them, how to say them how they will have to use the electric vehicles, because it's not just to change the vehicle, it's also change the mind, because you have to plan a trip and so on and so on. So it's, again, I want to say that it's big revolution. There is no way back. There is just only the question about how quick we got this new zero emission.
Indeed. Obviously, infrastructure is a big issue here, but I wanted to ask you about your thoughts about how we can encourage Poles to buy more electric vehicles.
The biggest problem in Poland is that we have still quite big, I mean, 65% of the used vehicle being registered for a very first time. That's the private import from any other countries. That's first. So if we are talking about the registration of brand new vehicles, we're just talking about more or less 500,000. And most of them, there are vehicles which are buying by the companies. So first of all, we have to take care about the companies, how to learn them, how to tell to the people working in those companies how they want to use the electric vehicles, and first of all to discuss with them that it's good solution for the companies, for the climate, for us as a society. That's first, because it's still, sorry to say, but the price for the new vehicle, both combustion engine and electric one, is quite high. If we compare the price for the used one, which is around 4,000-5,000 euros, comparing with electric new ones 60,000-65,000 euro, you can see that it's a huge difference. And of course, except the support from the government, which is very important thing, we also have to have any other solutions. That's why for the moment the most important thing is to tell to the people why we're gonna do this big change.
But are you suggesting that at this stage electric vehicles are too expensive for the average Pole?
Unfortunately, yes. The problem is that not just only electric vehicles, but all the vehicles, the prices are much, much higher. Of course, there are many reasons, but first of all is a COVID problem and the problem with the chain of value. There is also the problem, of course, with war in Ukraine and many others. So the prices for some materials are much, much higher than it was 4 years ago. And in the end of the day, the prices for the vehicles are much higher. Of course, we can live with this. We can do whatever we want to do, but it's not just up to us. I mean, the automotive industry, but also for example, for the government, because we have to produce the vehicles which will be cheaper. There is the discussion ongoing in Europe how to present the vehicle which will be around 20,000 euros, because it will be the vehicle which will be the price will be acceptable for more and more people.
As we wrap up our conversation, I wanted to ask you about Isera. What could have been considered perhaps the Polish Tesla attempt? What happened there? What's the story?
For the moment, we know that first of all, we are waiting, in my private opinion, too long for the political decision, because what is absolutely necessary is as soon as it's possible to make a political decision. What should we do with this project? Without this decision, we can do nothing. So if we want to discuss about the new factory, about the new brand on Polish market, not only Polish one, we have to, first of all, the political decision. Yes, we're gonna do it.
What were the main mistakes, just very, very quickly, should Isera be resurrected as a project? What do you think were the main mistakes that should be corrected?
You know that for the moment there is the discussion about some let's say, first of all, what I said before, the very first what is necessary is a decision. Then we have to discuss with Chinese partner, because we know that there was the agreement was signed that the Chinese company, big Chinese company, one of the biggest one, will be the partner. Then we can go further. Again, the first of all, we have to make a political decision, but it's up to government.
Of course. Okay. It was great speaking to you, Jakub Faryś, Chair of the Polish Automotive Industry Association. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Business Arena. Thank you so much for joining us on The Bottom Line. Make sure you join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. CET on TVP World, but don't go away. Coming up now, World Talks with Ashim Kumar, who speaks to Aleksandra Karasińska from Forbes Women. And make sure you tune in to World News Tonight, our main news coverage at 8 p.m. with Don Arleth. He will be joined by Polish Justice Minister Adam Bodnar. Goodbye.